One team that isn't finishing in the top 6 is Everton. I don't know what to say about this team, man. I can't believe them. I can't believe them, man. They're awful. Everything about them. The fact that they've just brought Amanda Broyer, which I think they theoretically will end up paying for him unless they don't finish in the top 14 places, which is a possibility.
Is that an obligation?
Yeah, I'm sure they've got to finish above 14th place, and then they have to pay 30 million for him. But they've got one of the worst. Their medical bills must be mental anyway. Calvert-Lewin's been in the treatment room more than any player that I know. And what did they go and do? They go and bring in another striker that can't keep himself fit. There's a reason Ipswich didn't sign him, because of his Achilles and all the rest of it. So I don't get that. But
he's not fit in October too.
Yeah, so that's another thing. I think we're paying his wages. That was another thing. We're paying his wages until he's fully fit. And that's like a finger in the air moment, because he might not be back in October. He could be back in January. But I think with Everton, I worry about them because they've still got Ashley Young there. They've still got Seamus Coleman. Michael Keane is not a good defender. James Tarkowski is not a good defender. They've lost Onana. I remember doing the previews and saying that Onana was going to be a big loss for them. And I think he's scored back-to-back now games for Villa. I don't know where they go, man. I'm gonna come to Kojo first for this one, but I don't know where did they go in terms of. I mean, realistically, they could actually get relegated and go into that new stadium next season in the Championship.
I think this is their year, man. I think the year is done. Yeah, and the summer was damning because they lost an important player and they didn't improve.
Yeah,
in any signing. I know it's hard when you lose a player like that, but the least you can do is try and find a replacement that logically makes sense in terms of, you know, maybe just closing the gap in loss of quality, just making it a bit minimal. They haven't got close to Onana's quality. Not even close. Sorry, it's really bad to see. And the end of that game speaks volumes, because I think the first 86 minutes was just pure, I don't know, energy, passion, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what was driving them through. But what you saw at the end was just literally what we've been saying about Everton for the last 2-3 years. They've been hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
They've been hanging on by a thread. And Sean Dyche came and gave them some sort of big boost last year that had them finding something. You know, Decore was scoring, Nana was being sensational in midfield for them. But they've lost that. And I genuinely think there's nothing that's going to save them now. I genuinely think they're getting relegated this year, and I think they're starting the Championship in a new stadium. It's a shame because you're leaving for them anyway, not for me, but it's a shame for them because you're leaving what you call your home after God knows how many years. And, you know, you're going to a new, how was it, maybe 50,000 seater stadium. You're starting it with a relegation. It's a horror show. It's a horror show. But it's what we speak about with other clubs. It's a history of bad ownership.
Yeah.
It's a history of bad signings. It's a history of just, you know, no solid structure in terms of, or ideas of how to buy players. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can't rely upon. With all due respect, your next striker is Beto.
Yeah, poor.
And then you go on loan Broja, and if you finish 14th or above, you have to pay £30 million. Listen to the deals they've made. This is not good business.
Oh, they remember the Schneiderlin deal. I remember pulling off a list not too long ago. They paid some mad money for players. Even Iwobi. I know Iwobi went on to sort of help them in times when they were nearly relegated, but I'm sure he's like 45 million. Like,
yeah. And they made a loss on him as well when he left, right? He made a loss too when he
left. 100%. And as well, it's the hiring and firing of managers, paying debts as well.
It's crazy to think that once upon a time they had Ancelotti.
I was just about to say, Ancelotti was there. I think he must have thought, what is this? he must have looked across the road there over Stanley Park and thought, I can see like a big stand over there. Oh, it's Anfield. Why am I here? Do you know what I mean? What am I doing at this club when there's Anfield right there?
service on that Sunday when Madrid came calling was special. He was
telling you,
delighted.
he didn't even wait around. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure as well. I'm pretty sure.
It did the Rubinho mistake, didn't it? It did the Rubinho mistake. You know, when Rubinho went to Man City and he thought he joined Man United.
Yeah, he must have thought.
He didn't know there was another team in Manchester.
He must have thought I thought I was signing for Liverpool. What is this? But you know, this is the thing with Everton. They've been badly managed on and off the field. They still haven't found a buyer. I don't think. I know one of the Palace owners, or someone that's connected to Palace, is keen on trying to buy some sort of stake at Everton. But just the fact that they're still in that point now where they don't have someone who's really interested in buying the club. The stadium, I think, was delayed anyway. They should have been in the stadium this season, but it got pushed back a year. It's just a mess. It's an absolute, and even the results now, you can't see where I remember saying it again in the preview that we did. You can't see where their goals are coming from. They don't look like they're going to score a goal. So it's alarming. It's alarming for them. I want to talk obviously about Calvert-Lewin, because he did score a goal, but is he good enough? I'm going to come to Dave for this. Is he good enough? Beto good enough? Is Armando Broja good enough to be at Everton? Are these strikers really going to pull up trees for this club and keep them in the Premier League? Are they not the oldest club to be in the Premier League or sort of top division?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I think so.
So for them to go down, it'd be mental. So
for the future of him and the future of possibly his family, if he does have a family in the future, I'm glad he's got a modelling career. Put it that way, because it needs to bring the peas in at some point. If they go down, because if they go down, no one's signing him. And his championship player. So
the worry
what?
Thing is, I think someone would, because we were linked with him in the summer. So I think
someone. You're the only one that would buy him, because at the end of the day, you just see someone available and you get him anyway, don't you? So I mean, you are literally marketing, like people. You know, people that market and advertise things. You are the perfect customer for them. You know, all they got to do is say 50% off, and that's it. Chelsea down there, Aldi alley, middle of Aldi.
We're talking about Everton right now. I made one little comment about Chelsea. We were getting all the daggers are out from me already. We're getting on to Chelsea in a minute.
I'm enjoying both. Downfalls, if I'm honest. I mean, Sean Dyche went into the interview. Liverpool fan Sean Dyche, by the way, went into the interview room and said, "I'm going to take you down like Chris Brown." And funnily enough, the owners thought the owners are R&B fans. They just thought it was just talking about Chris Brown himself, but he actually was taking him down, and he's finishing off Rafa Benitez's job, I think, which is perfect.
Do you think he stays though? I don't think he stays. You know, I think they got to sack him eventually. They have to get rid of him.
They probably have to. They probably have to, but
I don't know if they can afford to. I don't know if they can afford to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they've got. Don't forget. I'm sure I read that before the last season ended, or when this season started. There's more points deductions coming for them as well. So I don't know.
Give it to them next season at Championship.
Well, I think they're going to get it this season. I really do, and I think if that's the case, I don't know if they can sack him.
No chance.
But if they did sack him, Basil, who could you see coming in to do that? Is it another Big Sam? Is it Big Sam again, part 2 or part 3? Then I don't know.
I think that's the most worrying part about everything. Even if you do sack that, who is available to manage that team? Because you can't go for glamour. Because
Ten Hag.
You don't have the players. Wow. Yeah. So then you honestly, it's worrying. I honestly don't know who they go with. I'm surprised. The thing is, I was surprised when Dyche came in, when he kept them up. And then I was surprised they kept Dyche for this season, because I couldn't see him doing it any better this season than waited for the last season. But at the same time, it's like, well, there's no one out there for Everton. They're not a big draw for any managers. I can understand why they've kept Dyche there, but it's really worrying. Really, really worrying.
One manager I could see, and know he was linked with them at some point as well. And I'm not saying it's the answer at all. I think he might even still get them relegated. Would be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I think he was one name I think that's linked.
would he take it? Do you think?
No
I think he
way.
would, you know. No, I think
I don't.
he,
No way.
I think he would, you know. 'Cause I'm pretty, I don't know if he still does, but I know he's still in the Cheshire area. So
He's rejected a lot of clubs. He's not going to Everton. I promise you. No way.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of men would have said Carlo Ancelotti would not be at Everton, and when he was stood outside the dugout, he was there. I'm just saying, like, he was there. So
Sometimes when you want everything, sometimes you want to. You know, when you play FM, you've had a. Let me go. Yeah, man. Every now and then, man. You know what I mean?
got to test the waters.
Can't do that. Ollie can't afford that. He can't afford that. No way.
Ollie's waiting for Chelsea job when you're in manager inevitably gets sacked.
We're sticking with him. We're sticking with Maresca. He's fine. But no, Everton, I think, are in trouble. I thought, you know, Bournemouth, let's credit them as well. They played really well, saw the game out, got their 3 points, got their 3 goals. And again, another team that seems to be playing some half decent football at the Vitality. So I'm interested to see how those kind of clubs get on this season. I know obviously Man City and Liverpool and all the rest of it, everyone's going to be focusing on that. But Ipswich are another team I'm looking forward to watching a lot of this season, and Bournemouth another one. See how they get on without Solanke in their team. So credit to them for doing that. But